All right, all, councilmen are in attendance, with one being on Zoom.
Yeah, Walter will be joining us tonight on Zoom. Say hi, Walter.
Hello, I can hear you.
All
Good,
right.
so we all need to remember to use our mics. We have no executive session to start with. Do we have any adjustments to the agenda?
We do. I would request um, that you move 8.1, 8.2, and 14.2 just after 6.2 special recognition presentation. And so I think that will help serve some purposes tonight if you're amenable.
Works with me. Anybody have any other objection to it? All right. We don't, I don't see that we have to have a vote because it's part of what is on here, but
I'm okay with it.
I don't see a motion needed because it's
Yeah.
part of our agenda.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you could set up the agenda anyway, so
Yeah.
you making an adjustment doesn't bother me at all. All right, so public hearing on the liquor license renewal for Daddy-O's. I assume everything's,
So again, we're in this new
Right.
world.
I know, it's kind of, we don't really do it, but we have to approve it.
Right. And so assuming your approval, because most of it now is with the state,
Right,
and somewhere over the next month or two, I actually have it teed up on your upcoming agendas to have a discussion about all of this,
okay,
to make the rules of the road in this new world
right,
a little smoother
okay.
for all concerned.
Yeah, it's a little awkward now because we're kind of like,
Yeah.
we're doing something because this is the way we've always done it, but yet it really doesn't, it's not really as applicable as it was,
Yeah.
right?
Right. And so the acid point is that the local businesses that still request liquor licenses have to give us the annual $50 fee.
Right,
And so that's our juice in all of the,
right,
in addition to if we had any great concerns, this
right.
would be your and
Right.
their opportunity.
right. But there's then no complaints, I'm assuming. I mean, I've heard a thing and it's a small town. You usually hear things pretty quickly, but, yeah. So would anybody like to, this is part of the public hearing. So if anybody has anything they'd like to say, now would be the time, which is fine if you don't. If that's the case, then we'll close that public hearing and we'll go on to the, presentation.
All right. I don't know if he's able or willing or whatever, but if I could have Paul Harvey, if I could have Uriah Merrick, and if I could have Fred Sturdivant come up front, please. Just stand right in front of the table there. And so, I should face the crowd.
You can stand right in front of me. That's okay.
So,
No, I was being serious.
so I'll set the table.
Yeah,
And I don't know if anybody else wants to say anything about this, but I like the concept of celebrating good things. And in an emergency situation the other week on July 23rd, we had an event, an unfortunate event at the Future Foods building with a Freon leak. And though I weren't there on the scene, it was reported back to me by Police Chief Schroeder that Uriah and Paul did outstanding service for the town. And so in my discussions with both Paul and Fred, we wanted to take a moment to recognize you with a special recognition for your service to the town. And as I understand it, your quick response on all levels helped to lower the emergency threshold, even though it was an event. So from what I'm being told, you guys did above and beyond exceptional duty. And Fred, if you would be so kind to, you may have to hold Paul's, but give Uriah his certificate. This is just a little recognition and memento from the town of Mechanic Falls to Uriah Merrick for a job well done with exceptional emergency response. And the same for Paul Harvey. And if you all hear, and when you see this on the internet, think good things. If you would all join us in a round of applause for these two gentlemen. The town of,
Here's since 1990, I'll plan on continuing as long as I can do more, so.
well, we certainly appreciate your service, both of you. And Fred, I don't know if you have anything you want to say, or if you're good.
Get going, it's at work, and they already called me on the phone, they said, you guys need me there, they said, don't forget it on the handle, we'll keep you up, they said, good, I don't have to go stand around on my hip. They kept me going right to the end, so if they needed anything, I knew about it all the way through. I was very happy. I appreciate it. So
Definitely want to thank Chief Schroeder for his quick response too when I called him on the radio, when I called Connie on the radio, because the store owners were refusing to leave, and I'm like, you either get the hell out of the building in plain English, or the cops are en route already, so I had to step up to code 3, and as soon as they heard his siren, they beat out of the building. Because they kept saying, oh, we don't buy, you can go, I'm like, no, that's chemicals leaking out.
Yeah.
And you're putting everybody else at risk. So.
So again, thank you. Uriah, you got anything to say?
Really, there's a lot of people who think the scenario. I mean, as soon as we realized it was a situation, we praised the chief, we praised you, so that way we could get the message out to the town, so that way we immediately had that area was RC, which was an immense help from that level of thing. We didn't have to deal with as much foot traffic and vehicle traffic. And it made it so much easier for us to all efficiently work together. And I also do want to thank Paul Schroeder, Chief Schroeder, for all of his work that day, because, I mean, he went down to the point where I looked at him, I said, I need a ride to go get our command car, because we have so much going on and we have no radio traffic. So, he gave me a ride back to the station even just to grab the truck so I could get it up there, so we had more communication with us and dispatch. And there was a lot of hands at work.
Yes.
Very good.
I've had great citizens in town when I went in the village beach rear, and I went into the doctor's office, and I said, hey, guys need to evacuate, and we're all, no, they were out of there as soon as they could.
And the other part about that too is thank you to the local businesses, because at one point, we had so many responders. I want to say, at least from Cobra alone, we had 18 people that showed up. And of course, it was dinner time. It was a 7-hour incident. So all of us were hot, we were hungry. They kept us hydrated with Gatorades. They gave us food. It was immense help from the community.
Well, again, we'll close by saying thank you and one more round of applause. Thank you. Hold on. We want to take a picture here
For the town report.
for the town report. Want me to do it or you want to do it?
I'll do it.
All right. You need me to get into it?
Oh, yep. Or I can go grab mine real quick. Oh, I did something. Was paying for something.
I hope not.
It might have been
Uh,
Mo.
Yeah. All right, there you go.
We did. Don't hide behind him.
Yeah.
Are you ready? Perfect. Thank you.
I'll email that to you tomorrow.
Yay, there's two.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, gentlemen. Back to the chair.
So this is where we move everything up. Was it here or was it? Sorry, I didn't.
Yeah, based on what we moved
Right,
up.
we're gonna do 8-1 now.
Yeah, so you're at 8-1.
Right.
And so I'll set the table and just
Yep,
turn it
go
over to
ahead.
you. So at the last council meeting back in mid-June, the council directed that to fill the open seat caused by the resignation of Paula Stotts, that they wanted to take applications. And so since that point in time, I immediately put it out on both Facebook and the website for asking for applications for all interested parties for the council to consider. So during that duration, we've had just one application. And so the council tonight, their job is to consider that application to decide if they want to act on it or not. And if they do want to act on it, if they wish to swear in immediately the applicant or not. It is totally up to the council. Mr. Chair?
Okay. So we do have one application and it's I didn't ask you, how do you pronounce your last name?
Large.
Tabarge?
Yeah.
Okay. Derek, and he's the finance director in Poland, I believe, right? I looked it all over. It looks good to me. You know, the great thing is we don't get to discuss things outside of here, but yeah, so he's our applicant. So does anyone have anything that they would like? If you guys got any comments, anything that you read? You have a lot of comments, so this may be where you have one.
I would just like to say, in looking at his application, he's been involved in youth in our community and soccer program. And I know through knowing his two children that he's was a very involved parent in terms of their education and has done coaching. He's lived in our community for 21 years. I think he's an excellent candidate for the town council.
Anything, Ray?
Hi, Ray Lavoie here. I've read your application, Derek, and it's impeccable. I think you've done a tremendous job building up your resume to become a town councilor in Mechanic Falls. So given that your willingness to to participate, and you're going to bring another venue to this council with your experience. So you're going to be able to get into the minutia of the financing, et cetera, and look at it with a little different eye than we do. And I think you'd be a good addition to the council.
I would just add that I think one of the hardest things about being on a council or a board is being clear about sort of what our job is. And I think Derek did a good job in his application saying that, and that it's to provide the best service that we can to our town, but at the same time, to keep our taxes affordable. And I think that's the biggest challenge that we have as a town council, and he already recognizes that. So when you're ready to make.
Yeah. Well,
right.
Walter, do you have anything you'd like to
I
add?
concur on all points.
Okay. I'm not surprised, but I did want to give you that opportunity to, I didn't want to speak for you. So,
Thank you.
all right. So, if it's the will of the council, I could entertain a motion to accept him as a councilman, I guess. Is that how we do it? Vote?
Yeah, you'll have to take a vote.
You're right.
And just for people out there in internet world, I just want to make sure everybody understands the gentleman's name is Derek Tabarge. And so with that said, back to you, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
So do you need a motion?
I do.
I make a motion that we accept his application for town council and agree to appoint him to that position for Paul.
I will second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded. In any other discussion?
Just one note,
Yep.
assuming an affirmation,
Yep. He'll
Is
have to
it,
be
is
sworn
it the
in.
wish of the council that he be sworn immediately
I
in?
do. Yeah, well, all right. That's my wish, but as long as it's okay with everyone else.
That
And
is,
certainly amend that to add that to the motion.
You're good with that seconded?
Okay.
Okay,
I would second that.
okay. So any other discussion? If not, those in favor say aye. Or raise your hand. I figured aye because he can do it from there easier.
Thank you. And at this point, Mr. Chair, what we'll do is we'll have the official swearing in ceremony. So I'll turn it over to Rebecca and Derek. Rebecca, if you could make sure that microphone is on when you do that. And I don't think it's on. Is it? Okay, all right. Yeah. It's a little soft, but yeah.
I, Eric Barge, do swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and of the state of Maine, as long as I shall be in the system thereof. So help me God. I swear that I will perform all duties incumbent upon me according to the Constitution and the laws of the state of Maine. As town council member of the group. None other is chosen and sworn in my stead.
All right, round of applause.
Yeah, then we've got it. Oh, yeah. On the-
So, Mr. Chair, based on the adjustments to the agenda, I would, that's right. And so to tee this up for you, Paul, would you mind? So if that's not on, turn it on. So based on the recent voting for the FY26 budget and our capital improvement game plan calls for the purchase of a new cruiser. And so Paul went out to bid. Paul,
On, it's, has 5 years, approximately 84,000 miles on it. We put 3 bids out. Have to reach out to all the local Ford agents, even Ford Interceptor. Might change something that works for us. You don't need a large vehicle for small town, but you never use the gas rates. So the 3 Ford dealerships I had 2 bids at was Ford Augusta, Rowe Ford, and Rowe Ford Westwood. Only Augusta came back to us with a counter bid, which the numbers are on your package right there. Showing the trading value of our current cruiser plus the final sale value for the cruiser. On the plus side, since this is the cruiser we're swapping out, we don't have to buy a lot of equipment. We can take equipment from the old cruiser, put it into the new cruiser modification. See the bid back from Sean Adams for approximately 55.
yeah, it was right around there. Yeah.
When they really got to replace the lights and a couple of brackets to make our equipment compatible with that. Compared to last cruiser where we have to buy everything brand new, but brand new crash right up and have training on that. So the budget, we have more than enough money to make this happen and has reserve left over from after this purchase to be used elsewhere or save out for the next cruiser replacement in fiscal year 28. I think.
Yeah, be 28, right? Half a cruiser a year. Yep. And just following up on the numbers for a second. So as a part of your packet, The bid price, the total in is minus the allowance is 39,928. So assuming a motion, I'd like that number of 39,928 as a part of the motion, please. And the following page is as of August 4th, a little update about the line, the reserve account that these monies would be coming from. He currently has 44,000 in it. We will be adding 50,000 based on the June vote. So he'll have a total of 94 and then minus the 39. So as you can see, there's plenty of skin in there to make it all happen if you choose to award the bid.
The 39, do we need to add the other 5 or roughly?
No,
6
I did
grand,
that
or
on
that's
my own
gonna be out
because
of the-
it's
okay,
just-
that's,
yeah.
I just want to make sure.
Yeah,
like,
good
'cause-
question. Good
and-
question.
And also, just so that people know, the 39, basically rough, let's just call it 40,000 for ease because it's pretty close. And then the extra, well, I can't remember what it was, you said 5,500 or 5,600 or whatever it is. That'll come, it can also come out of that fund, right? So roughly 46 to $47,000, roughly.
Yeah.
Rough. Very rough, sorry. Normally my brain would be able to calculate that out quickly. So we need a motion for accepting this bid, with the number $39,928.
I make a motion that we accept the Quirk Auto Group's bid for the new police cruiser as spec'd out on our sheets here for the amount total expenditure of $39,928.
It's been moved. Any second?
I'll second that.
Mary seconded it. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand.
Aye.
Thank you.
Walter says aye and raises his hand. I'm sorry. Thank you. All right, so now we could be going back to 7.1, Daddy-O's liquor license renewal. Need a motion on the floor for that.
I make a motion that we accept the application from Daddy-O's for a liquor license for this current year.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand.
Thank you.
Unanimous. Sorry. I'm not used to marking up my sheet quite so much. So next is general reports, accepting of the minutes. So because you weren't here, you have to abstain from this vote. Okay. Or, yeah, you might have watched online or whatever, but it wasn't a council member.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah. Yep.
I make a motion that we accept the minutes from the last meeting of the Mechanic Falls Town Council.
Second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand.
Thank you.
We've already sworn him in, so, oh, sorry, we're already down here anyways. The monthly reports,
Make a motion that we accept the department monthly reports as presented.
Second.
been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Do you have anything on that? No, okay, just making sure. Yeah, I saw you looking, so just making sure. All those in favor, raise your hand.
Thank you.
Public comments? You're not here for comments. Wow. All right, well, council comments. Do we have any council comments?
I think I do.
Okay,
As the liaison to the school department, one of the things that I received from Amy Hediger, superintendent, was that there had been an application in for each of our 3 schools to the Department of Ed for major school construction projects. And there was a review that happened during the last school year. And I think there was about 100 schools that applied. And they picked the top 6 or 7 schools, of which our 3 schools were not close to that. So Minot Consolidated School was 40th, Elm Street was 56th, and Poland Community School was 84th. So she said, based on those rankings, it's clear we won't be moving forward with a state-funded school construction project during this cycle. But the district will have the opportunity to reapply when it comes up in 7 or 8 years. They will look to you applying for some of the matching grant funds, so for renovations. So that was the update.
Thank you. Anything else? Anything anybody noticed that they'd like to discuss, or? Not that I feel that you have to, but I want to give the opportunity. If not, then we'll move to Vic's report, town manager's report.
Okay, so I do have a few things. It changes almost by the minute, folks, so stay tuned. The 2025 paving update. So it's changed twice today. The latest is North Street should be paved this Friday. And I did just put an update out on Facebook about that for Friday. If it changes again, I'll try to stay on top of it and inform everybody. There is another update. We did purchase some extra quantities for Riverside and Highland. I'll back up to that in just a moment. And no, actually, I'll do it right now. I'll do it now. So as a part of my TM updates packet, I did include some materials for you because honestly, eyes always wide open. And I want to make sure that you guys get to see my math, if you will, on how I do things day to day. And I had to make a couple of executive decisions with our purchasing policy that allows me my exceptions to make the decisions that I made. So I'm comfortable in my skin on the decisions that I made, but I want to be totally above board with the council, with everybody here tonight and everybody out there listening. So an exception to and I'll take you to the end, to the Town of Mechanic Falls purchasing policy. If I take you to the second page of that policy, it has a section called exemptions from quotes, competitive bidding. And I had to hang my hat on a couple of these items. But as far as the paving is concerned, number 5, the purchasing policy allows me the letting of contracts or purchases of additional quantities where the town has recently awarded bids as normally required. So you guys gave me permission to move forward with the North Street paving project. And so in discussions with Chris Arsenault, Rob Prue, and our paver, we wanted to, Riverside Drive needs a little bit of love now. And so we're purchasing some extra quantities. That project will probably be done sometime in September. They're over there this week working on prepping for that work to happen. In addition, Chris had a wonderful idea, and I might have mentioned this to you before. So both Riverside and Highland are a part of our ongoing 10-year road plan. And so we wanted to move up Riverside because it really does need some love. The Highland situation's a little unique because we were going to do Highland next year. based on our road plan. Jake had to go in and do some work this summer because we don't want to pave and then dig it all up. So we want to make sure the cart and the horse is in the right situation. So Jake, through the water department's budget, had a certain amount of monies for paving. So the Highland project, and if I have you go to, I put it here, so you can see the added estimate from Mainly Paving Services that totals out to $32,246. And you can see that I accepted that on July 9th. And so the good news is Jake's water budget will be paying for the Highland project, and our additional quantities will be paying for the Riverside project. So it made good sense for us to move forward with this. But again, I want to make sure eyes wide open that you guys understand what I'm doing and why I did what I did. So I did approve that, and those projects will be unfolding over the next several weeks. So that's that part. But wait, there's more. So now, zero turn mower purchase. So it was part of our capital improvement plan for FY26 to purchase a new upgraded zero turn mower. We've had some mower issues this summer. And so Chris went out and sought some bids from some vendors, and he only found one from this particular vendor. It's the vendor we've worked with before for the particular model of what he wanted. So we went ahead and we pulled the trigger on that. And did I put that in there?
Yeah, it was in here somewhere.
Yes, I did. Yeah. So it's $15,212, which is technically $212 above my spending authority. But I used the exception, as you see on the exception sheet, to go over my spending authority by $212. Now, if the council wants to slap my wrist, you're totally within your rights to do so. But I made an executive decision based on our needs and how things should unfold. And so we do have the mower, all is well. But I did want to confess to you that using the allowed exceptions, that I did exceed my spending authority by $212. Eyes wide open. So the paving project, the zero turn mower, with the purchase policy information that I just shared, those are the first two items. The third item in my TM update is the Fix 108 update. So tomorrow I'm going to reach back out, but based on a recent conversation a couple of weeks ago with the vendor that's going to be working on the 108 building, as a matter of fact, and the back buildings out here. So that work is to begin on this Friday, August 15th. And so for the next several weeks, for everybody listening, for the next several weeks, and I posted it on our website and Facebook, that there's going to be renovations. Matter of fact, Rebecca's even got it out on the town sign. So there may be some inconveniences over the next several weeks as people enter and exit the building. Please be patient with us. It's all for good things. And we hope at the end of it to have a refurbished exterior. And some of the couple of the back buildings out here will get a couple of new doors and updated vinyl siding fixes and whatnot. So it's all a part of the approved project from earlier this year, which is now on the doorstep of happening. Next to last item I have for you. So the Depot Square lamppost project. This has been a project that's been on my mind for couple of years now, actually. So somewhere it was supposed to happen now, but schedules didn't allow for it. So I was hoping to report the success on the backside. But because it didn't happen, what I will do is back up for a moment and share with you what will happen over at the Depot Square parking lot. So for those of you familiar, you will note that the thoroughfare between the Future Foods parking lot and the lower parking lot, there was a lamp post right there 2 or 3 years ago. That lamp post got knocked over. And so right now we have a situation where we don't have a lamp post there. And the wires are safe and all of that, but I'm still not comfortable with it. And so nobody's complained, which is good. But what we're going to do is the lamp post that's closest to the medical building, right there on that very same side, we're going to have Northlight take that lamp post and move it out to the thoroughfare. Makes perfect sense to me. They will also do some light fishing because forever there's been lighting issues in that parking lot. If it's something that can be easily, quickly solved, they will do it. If it's something that's going to cost $30,000-$40,000, well, that'll probably happen another day. So those are the updates that I have for you, other than Rebecca will kick me if I don't tell you that for the November 4th election, absentee ballot requests are now available. So if you want an absentee ballot, the request form for that is now available for all. See Rebecca. How'd I do? Thank you. All right. Any questions?
Because the paper cut off, I would assume that that's Reggie's that you're buying that.
Yes,
return for?
yes, I believe that to be true.
Right,
Yes.
so that we clarify our records here.
Yeah.
Reggie's.
And it's where we got the last one. And so he was considering one from the shop in Oxford, but it'd be a whole different scenario. And if Chris were here, I'd have him take 5 minutes and tell you all about it. But this was the best option to solve the problem and solve it quickly.
I just needed clarification who we're buying it from, so
Yep.
that it's for our records.
Any other questions?
I've got a question. So it looks like from what you just said and what's in here, that paving will be done in the next couple of weeks. I guess my question is it going to be done before school starts? And if it isn't,
Oh, the Highland.
Because-
So the Highland, that's a great question.
because school starts on the
So-
27th.
In order to make this, the short answer is no. The long answer is, so assuming they do North Street this week, the game plan is for them to come back in September. Before they come back, or as they come back, Jake needs some other guy to do some work. And so we have to do the dance of getting the right people here at the right time. And as I look you in the eye right now, the closest thing is second half of September. So I will update everybody and put it out on Facebook and all that once I do know. But your question, of which I'm hearing in my head,
Yeah.
is yes, it could maybe cause some problems. I'll work with Jake and
Yeah.
Chris,
And John
And-
Hawley
and-
over at
right,
OSU.
and keep everybody up to date.
Good.
The good thing about doing it now is we're doing it all in one felt swoop, so we don't have to come back next year.
Yeah.
So, but yes, is it going to be a pain for a day or 2 or 3? Probably.
Yeah, and I think as long as they know about that ahead of time
Yeah.
and they can make arrangements with any
Yeah.
children that need to be picked up on.
Yeah. Touche.
Great.
Good
Yeah.
point. Good.
I had another couple of questions and maybe I should have asked them during the reports, but as I was looking at the financial ones, I didn't understand. As I looked down through the revenues, I understood all of them except one that said USCTC rent. What was that? What's that?
So up at the transfer station, there's a cell tower.
Okay,
So US Cellular pays us rent.
okay, that makes sense.
And from time to time, I get a letter where they want us to allow them to buy it out. You know, it's a math equation. And so for right now, I've kind of pushed that thought process off, but yes, it's rent money. That's what
Okay.
that is.
The other one I had was, is the water department on a January to January budget? Okay, that's,
Yeah, January through December,
Okay,
and
that's what I
we're
thought.
July, June 30.
yeah, that's what I thought. So it makes more sense now.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. And so in December, just to give you a heads up, Jake will be bringing you guys the 2026 calendar year budget proposal for you to review. And it is that is a good question, and it's a good reminder, and it's probably good for Derek to hear that our water department is a quasi part of the town. So it's, you gotta love government, right? So it is quasi, so it's not literally town. It has its independence, but it's not totally independent. Like the sanitary district is totally independent, has nothing to do with town government. It's its own thing. So
Well, we're basically the overseers.
yes,
I mean, we don't direct them, but we oversee. Like,
Yeah,
they
you-
come for permission to do things.
you technically control their budget, right?
They technically bury their stuff.
Which we're glad that they're burying it before we tar it. It's great that worked out.
Any other questions or are we good?
Anything from you? Okay.
You got anything, Walter?
Nope, we're all set.
All right. All right, back to the chair.
Entertain a motion to accept Vic's
Oh.
report.
Motion that we accept all 4 points of Vic's report.
I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded. Any other discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand.
Thank you.
Oh, move. Yeah, give me a second. I've moved my agenda and I don't know what I did with it. So make it 3 here. I think. To keep things moving because we're moving along anyways. All right, so. Anything for old business?
Nope.
All right, now comes the fun part. 14.1 is the mill rate set to take care of the tax commitment that we have.
So you want me to tee it up?
You may.
All right. So ladies and gentlemen, good news. Now, it's not even good news, it's great news. But it comes with a caveat at the end. So great news. The mill rate is currently $15.40. Each year, the town manager gives the council 3 options to choose, because the council are the assessors, to choose from to commit the town's taxes for the new fiscal year. And I am very happy to report that the 3 options this year are $14.85, $14.90, and $14.95, which you will note is a reduction from the current $15.40. And so that way, again, eyes wide open, the council and everybody listening can understand the differences between the 3. I will take the council as a part of their packet. So the sheet that has my handwriting at the top, $14.85 mill rate. This is the tax rate calculation sheet. This is the voodoo magic of what is for tax commitments. So down at the bottom, the very bottom line on this one sheet, you will note that it says $6,660.53 for overlay. So everybody in TV land, remember that, because now I'm going to move everybody, the council included, to the tax rate sheet that says $14.90. At the bottom of that page, the overlay is $21,434.42. And moving one more to the third option, which is $14.95 for the mill rate. The overlay figure is $36,208.28. So for those home gamers who, because we only deal with this once a year, Vic, what is an overlay? I'll take a moment to, an overlay is an extra piggy bank that goes into the tax commitment calculations. It's a little extra piggy bank that's set aside to pay any tax abatements that come up during the course of the fiscal year. And so the next obvious question is, Vic, what if we don't have any tax abatements? What happens to that money? Those dollars that aren't spent as a part of the overlay figure simply drain down into the town's undesignated fund balance. So at all times, all figures, in all ways, it's always the town's money. These three choices, and my recommendation for the council is going to be 1490. And the reason for that is 1485 has a $6,660 overlay, which quite frankly, in my humble opinion, is not enough. You have an action item on your agenda here in a few minutes that is going to ask you to abate over $3,500 in this one action. So my fear would be if we made it 1485 with only a $6,600 overlay, that we wouldn't have enough monies in this piggy bank, if you will, for whatever future abatements we may get. And then if we run out of overlay, we have a whole new issue. We got to have a special town meeting, blah, 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 blah. So I'm not comfortable for you with the 1485. The 1495, on the other hand, is overkill. So what did I say that was? $36,000 and change. That is overkill. So I root for and recommend the Goldilocks option at 1490, which will give us sufficient overlay. And anticipating questions, Vic, on a normal year, how much overlay do we expend? And I'm going to say, obviously, it depends upon the year, the situation, but I would say anywhere between 5 and 15,000, probably somewhere between 10 to 15 is really more norm. And so that's why I'm not comfortable with the $6,600 overlay. So as I turn this over to you, those are the three options that I present to you tonight: 1485, 1490, and 1495, and my reasoning behind recommending 1490. Mr. Chair, back to you.
Okay. So this is your wheelhouse, correct? Okay. I'm ignorant of a lot of things. So I always like to be I like to be informed when I make decisions. So I know math works easy with round numbers, but are we required to be within the nickel, or could you make it 1487 and go halfway between? I know it skews all the numbers and you haven't got them all figured out. I understand all that, but I'm asking, could it be halfway in the middle?
I think letter of the law, it could be. You will note that most municipalities either keep it on the nickel or the dime.
Yep.
I'm
asking the question.
You know, if you wanted to go there, you could go there. But for me, whatever of that money, whatever that 2 or 3 cents is, if the town doesn't abate it, it just drains down to your savings account. So it's your money either way.
Right.
And so it just depends on.
Becomes the taxpayers' money, becomes the town's money. That's the
It's
difference.
always the taxpayers' money.
Well, except becomes the town's money to spend. When we collect it, it doesn't go back to the townspeople.
Well, it does in a way.
Does, if it
It
goes.
does, because because again, remember, I always say everything is connected.
Yep.
And making this story a little bit longer. So let's say you only spend, you pick my option at 1490 and you only spend half of that.
Right.
So that means what, $12,000, whatever is going into the savings, into the
Right.
undesignated fund balance.
Right.
So this town has a policy, which again, after the audit, we do the 90-day set aside from this cash flow set aside from this undesignated fund balance.
Right.
And then everything else gets replenished back into capital reserves.
Right.
So in the future, hopefully, we're not facing capital issues. You know, so it's really, everything is connected and it's wise. And again, you have to ask yourself a question. Let's say for whatever reason, we get a flood of abatements. Do you really want to try to be too cute by half and not allow for that extra elbow room? Because I don't think it's unreasonable.
Right. I will say this, and this is my reasoning. I do see it is a substantial drop from last year, but part of last year's hype was that we got charged too much by the schools, which is a double-edged sword on this year, because not only does, like, even if we just had got charged a regular one, it would have been more like 15 and 25 or 15, whatever, you know, it would be smaller than it was taxed last year. Plus, we have that in our savings, which is helping us this year. So yes, we have come down quite a bit, but it's mostly because they got overcharged last year. And so my thought is, like, people have been taking it on the chin for the last couple of years in our town. There's just no doubt about it. And that's my thinking, is like, no, I don't want to be too cute. I don't want to go have a town meeting, because that's going to cost us more money. I understand what you're saying. I was just trying to think, you know, like, if we normally are 10 or 15,000, then 21's is a little extra, but I know it isn't going to make much difference. So in your taxes.
So as the assessors, you tonight are scheduled to commit taxes.
Right.
So I don't have paperwork set up for you for 1487s. So if you don't commit taxes tonight, tomorrow I'm scheduled to work with O'Donnell's to begin the tax bill process. So if you don't choose one of these three, yes, you can do whatever you want to do, but you're gumming up the work some, and you got to know that I'm going to have to call a special meeting for you guys to come back and take care of and vote on and sign all the adjusted paperwork that you want at 1487.
I'm not saying anybody else. I'm just asking questions is all I'm doing. Like, I'm not pushing for 1487. I'm not pushing anybody else that way. I'm just asking questions so that I can be the most informed. If you're telling me you're splitting too fine, okay. But I'm just asking, I'm trying to do my due diligence to keep the taxes as low as possible for people. And I do understand it becomes the town's property, but it doesn't go back into the taxpayer's pocket.
Sure it does.
Eventually it does.
Well, yes and no, except the town just keeps spending more.
No,
So
but
it doesn't really ever.
But
go
it
back
saves
into
you
the-
money on future capital that if you didn't have that, you would have to spend extra money for that
If
capital.
The town approves us to spend the money for the capital, yes. But again, you're taking it out of one person's savings and putting it in the town savings. And I'm not wrong. We're both right. I feel like we're both right in what we're saying. Like, I do see what you're saying, but at the same time, it is literally taking money out of somebody's pocketbook and putting it in the town's pocketbook. I understand that what you're saying is it's still that, you know, the town's going to spend the money one way or the other, but the truth is, just like the overcharge that they got for the school, we don't want to do that every year, but it's still helping us this year, right? We recognize that it helped us this year, but we don't want to overtax people and then just say, well, next year you don't have to pay more taxes, right? Like, do you see what I'm saying? Like, what
I see what you're,
you may not agree with me, but I don't agree with you 100% either. So, like, I think that we can come to. I mean, I understand, and I'm not pushing hard. Mary, go ahead.
Can you tell me if the tax abatements were beyond the 6,660, where would that money come from? That would have to come from somewhere else
so that money
in their budget.
that money, because this is all because everything is connected. What you would have to do, you'd have to take that extra money from the undesignated fund balance. And in order to do that, you would have to call a special town meeting, which would have to have a special warrant, which would have the whole voting thing. And we would have to go through that process,
would cost money.
which would cost more money.
I mean, I do share the concern that not so much, I think this is good news for
Oh,
our
absolutely.
citizens overall. But I do share the concern that they do need to understand that some of that is that offset of that $156,000 that we overpaid the school last year because of the 3 budget votes. And I'm also concerned that next year there's also the change in the cost share, which is $37,000 more for our town, plus the share that we do for adult ed and CIP. So, I mean, our taxpayers are going to be, we want to share the good news, but we also need to share at the same time that they need to be prepared for something somewhat different
I would,
next year.
I mean, just doing the math quickly in my head, and I'm not saying that it's right, but I would guess that we're gonna be right back to where we were last year, next year.
So yes, so this was the whole second half
Right.
of once we get through this thing. But yeah, so this is the big caveat, right? And so just to, again, eyes wide open. So in a nutshell, FY 26 for the town of Mechanic Falls operating budget is up like $140,000. The capital budget is up, from the taxpayer side, it's flat at 327,000, but we had good news with surplus dollars at all that we put back into play. So we've got a healthy capital reserve in play now for this year. The other component of all of that, don't lose your train of thought, Hodgkins. I lost my train of thought.
Hold on.
I hate that.
I was,
Spending.
yes.
Spending. So okay, I got it. Revenue sharing. So we actually got a nice bump from revenue sharing this year. So the key components, operational spending up a little bit, which is offset by, and the county is up. It's offset, those increases are indeed offset by the $150,813 that the town voted to apply to the school assessment in essence. And it is also offset by the increased revenue sharing. So you are right, Daryl, in the final analysis that rough math, if I
I recognize mine is extremely rough, but just. like-
so if the
but-
town has a valuation of 300 million, that means that a mill of spending is 300,000. That means 10 cents is 30,000. So if we're having a 50-cent reduction and 10 cents is 30,000, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to say that 5 times 30,000 is 150,000. And yes, we can only spend the money once. So
Right.
once we do this, and the town has voted to do it, so next year, if we have a flat budget with the schools and with the town, the mill rate will go back to 1540 in theory. Now, the other offset to that is each year the town increases in valuation organically, businesses, new homes, different things like that. And so that will help to get into this pie a little bit too. But yes, your concerns are 100% valid. And, you know, FY 27, we'll just have to, you know,
And I guess
Figure it
my
out.
thought is, and I'm not saying again, most of these are just ignorant. I'm just a regular taxpayer like everyone else. And yes, I run a business, but I'm a sole proprietor. I do whatever I want to do. So like I spend my money how I want to. So, but we're spending people's tax money. And my thought is, and I don't know if it's a good one, but we had that revenue uptick. Why does that just go automatically into, like, why can't it go to relieve some taxes instead of just going into more?
the town has, so the town has a
Is it-
policy on that.
is it-
Yes, you
yeah.
have a written policy.
Okay.
It's sitting in there in a book. As a matter of fact, when I do the capital update here towards the
I
end
mean,
of
I'm
the
doing my
calendar year.
best. I bought a new truck. I'm trying to
Yeah.
help you guys out, but
Yeah, I appreciate that.
not really, but I don't have a choice.
So honestly, unless you want to throw a thing into the works here,
No, I'm not
fourteen
trying.
ninety really is the best solution.
And I'm not saying, I guess my thought is not necessarily like, this is where we're at. We're dealing with this now. And I'm not trying to throw a monkey in the wrench or even open a can of worms that, but my thought is, in the future, could it be a split or something like that? And that might be like, or I just hate to see, it just seems like I've never seen government spending go down. It always goes up. And our spending, my personal spending goes up, right? Like everybody's, like everything costs more. Everything's just going to naturally go up. And I understand that. But when we did our town reval, people really like it. Yes, it brought in a lot of revenue to the town. And I'm not saying that we don't need that revenue, but the people that are paying the taxes need that. They're feeling the pinch too. So that's my thought, is trying to help out. It really is. I mean, I can afford my tax. I don't like my taxes, but I can afford them. I'm not going to lose my house because of my taxes. But I do think of people that are on fixed incomes that are, it's hurting. It's tough.
So since we're here, before you make a decision, I am going to give you, again, I always do try to mind the store, right? And so I'm going to back you up to that sheet with Paul's car with the cruiser. I want you to go back to that section. And
That's right at the very beginning.
on this sheet here.
Yep.
So about 3/4 or so of the way down, you'll see a line that's that RSU assessment.
Yes.
So it started as $150,813.
Right.
We've had it set aside. And now for everybody out there, it says $156,434 and change. So this got me thinking, because up until right now, like this past week, I've been thinking, honor the commitment of what the citizens voted and make sure that gets juiced into the payment ASAP.
Right.
But now I'm saying, if we delay that until like next April, we can probably capture a few more $1,000s to the upside. That benefits everybody. We still pay it during the course of the fiscal year. We drain it out, but maybe 156 looks like, I don't know, pick a number, 157, 58, 59, whatever it is.
If we gain 6 in basically a year, roughly, right?
Yeah, give or take,
I
right?
mean, roughly,
Yeah.
pretty close to a year. I mean, then you
So-
just say half of it would be 59, right? 159.
So
But what my question is, how does that extra 3,000 fit into everything?
So
Because it's already been-
when the time comes to pull the trigger, I just have Lisa drain this,
Right,
puts it into the general account and
Right.
writes the check, right?
right,
So basically, it's money from the general account that won't have to be spent because we're going to put this money into it. So it's an offset.
right. So but wouldn't that 3,000 also help us with this abatement stuff? That's what
No.
because you
No.
said that comes out of the general.
No, I'm just talking about working smarter for the town.
Right. So that just goes into the capital. It doesn't really go
No,
into
it's
you.
basically, it's less money spent from the
Right.
general account,
Right.
right?
Right.
Because we're tapping this
Right.
and we're going to I can drain it this month, right?
Yeah.
And spend the 56, or I can just let it get a little extra juice.
But what I'm saying is.
And in the
it's
end,
the
net the
money,
town some
when
money.
you start bringing in the taxes, it's gonna go to the general fund anyways. And the general fund's making money, like this isn't gonna save us on school taxes really, even if that goes up.
No, it has.
It just goes more
Right.
money into the general fund, which
Right.
is gonna be the.
Because we have to
bring in
pay
money.
the school's assessment, right?
Right, right.
But the point being, it helps the town. It's another way of working smarter
Yeah.
for the
Well,
town.
Certainly.
Even if it's $2,500, it's a way of. working
Certainly
smarter.
that redoing the bank thing has really benefited.
Oh, it has.
It's tremendous.
What
It has. Yeah.
What do you have? What do you have the money in for accounts? Is it just checking accounts, money markets?
So
We redid a
good
deal.
question. So it's layered like you would think, right? And so I'm not going to get into too big of details. You can feel free to come in, but just to give you a broad, what Daryl is referring to So a couple of years ago, I essentially put out to soft bid between Northeast and Androscoggin. Northeast, I gave them an open option to bid for our business.
Mhm.
We were doing some with them. They came back with tremendous upside that, I mean, at the time it was like the 5.5% we were getting. And before that, we were getting like scant, like 0.82 or something, right?
Yeah.
You know, we were getting
'Cause
scant.
until we complain, they're gonna
Oh, yeah.
give us
definitely.
So
amount again.
in all fairness, I gave Androscoggin Bank, I showed them. Again, I'll show you. You know, can you match this? Not only did they match it, but they goosed it. So we get prime. So whatever the prime is, we get prime plus, I think it's 0.36
Oh, wow.
in addition. Yeah, your
Yeah,
oh
we're doing-
wow is right. For
we're doing-
5 years.
So what is, I guess what is prime rate right now?
4.25 to 4.5.
Okay.
And the thing is, even if rates come down, we're still at prime, which is higher than any savings rate, right?
Oh, yeah.
Even higher than money markets,
Yeah.
right? You know, so we do have a couple of CDs and some stuff. Again, I'll be more than happy to walk you through it all. But we're kind of digressing from
Yeah.
the cause here, so I'll turn
I mean-
it back over to the chair.
I mean, I was just gonna say, I understand your concern, but is there any way of knowing if we said we split the middle and did 1487, how much is that gonna affect people's tax bills? Is it gonna be, are we talking pennies? You know, is it like, it's gonna be 50 cents less, something that even I know people are out on a fixed income, they're on budgets, but
Well, it depends on how on their property value.
yeah, oh, I
So-
understand,
so-
but
So a good faith effort to answer that question. So if at 1485, the overlay is 6,600. And at 1490,
About 15, or
It's 13.
the overlay is
8,
21. So if you
got
were
it.
to go in the middle of all that, yeah, you're probably what,
13,000.
13,
yeah, 13, 14.
$50.
Yeah.
Barry's done the math. I'm not taking credit.
So you're cutting the tax bill for everybody by $8,000, which is going to be literally pennies.
Yeah.
As you're
and
suggesting.
you think about the I don't know who
The ramifications.
the higher tax paying, you know, but like I know in Poland, we have some way up there and then, you know, so it really
Two
affects.
of us.
Yeah,
Two of us
yeah.
are taking it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
so-
again, I'm not like, again, I can afford my taxes and I appreciate the blessing of being able to live here. Like, I'm not complaining. Well, yeah, I do some, but just as a regular taxpayer.
I think,
But,
I just
yeah.
think Vic's point is good, is that in the long run,
yeah. I
any
certainly don't
extra
want to
money
waste
ends up,
Money,
it comes off the bottom line somewhere for the town.
right.
You know, it lowers the cost of something you'd have to tax for, so,
And you're not living like this.
yeah.
You know, worried, am I going to go over the overlay amount?
Well, and we're already at,
So-
we're already gonna lose half of it tonight.
So if you
If we
go
want-
over the overlay amount, but there's a different account in that budget that's under, you can't just call it even?
No,
No.
no,
So-
because you're spending the people's money and basically as the assessors. So the people have spoken on the FY26 budget. The numbers are what the numbers are, been voted. So as the assessors, you guys now have to take, with the help of O'Donnell's, take all the slide rule math and figure out how much you want the mill, you want the mill rate to be. The only variable is the overlay.
So I have a question and it may be a legality thing and it's not legal but my first thought was, as you was talking about that, is we have capital funds for everything else. Why don't we have a capital fund for this?
This is me smiling at you. May I?
Well,
May I?
well, yes, you may, but I'm not gonna agree with you because I
You
know.
know
what
where
you're
I'm
saying.
going.
Yeah, I do know where you're going, but it's not that what I asked though. I asked for
Well, that would be,
specifically this.
that would be the only place unless you specifically said, we want to create an extra pot of money for the
That's what I was gonna-
possibility someday that we may be spending more than we have set aside for overlay.
Right.
But the only difference with that is it's still in savings.
Right.
But now you've encumbered the savings. It can only be used for that specific thing.
Yep.
Whereas the way that if you let the system roll, it will eventually roll back into capital reserves based on our choices in the town's vote.
Well, not really the town. The town doesn't vote on how we spend the capital. monies.
He sure does. There's two articles. There's two
Well,
articles
right.
in the warrant. Basically, it was I think it's 327,000 for the commitment. And then there's another article with a certain figure for you guys to spend from surplus to specific reserve accounts.
Right.
So yes, the
Yes.
people have voted.
Yes, I will agree.
I have a question that's
Sure.
a little off, but as I read down through how that rate's established, I understood all of it, except can you explain to me what a business equipment tax exemption is? Because,
You ask a good question. So it's called Betty.
yeah,
And it is actually part of a conversation that I'm going to tee up with you guys in a few months. I wanted to make sure that we were fully at a staff of 5, a council of 5 again. So your taxes are made up of your real estate taxes and personal property tax. And for businesses, they have personal property that's associated with a business. It's called a business exemption tax something. Business expense tax exemption. So basically through their taxes, businesses get a tax break. The town gets to capture some of that back. And so we get revenues from the state of Maine based on a formulary. And so that's it's a line item in our revenues. We call it Betty, just using the acronym, but in a nutshell to a very complicated issue. That's it. That's the
I
answer.
understand that. Thanks.
I'm more than willing to hear anybody, if somebody wants to make a motion for one of these figures, I'm totally fine.
I would make a motion that we support the one recommended by our town manager at 14.90 mill rate.
Second that.
Been moved and seconded. Any other discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand.
All right, thank
See how
you.
easy it is to spend money.
But wait. Now
There's
you get-
more.
Now you get the signing party.
Yep.
And Derek, you're going to be at the end of the line here. So I'm going to give you a packet, and this is very important to do. So in every section on these pages that you see lines, there should be 4 sections. I need all of your signatures on here. And Walter, when you get back
Yeah, Wednesday.
next Wednesday,
Yeah, this coming 2 days.
This one's.
this
It's
Wednesday?
coming up.
Okay, I think that would be okay. I'm gonna send their Siggies off to O'Donnell's tomorrow. And
Okay.
if I need you to make their world happy, I'll let you know.
All right.
Could DocuSign, right?
Yeah,
If you had to.
Sign.
so, Ray? And then Derek, when you're done, just set it off to the front of the table and I'll collect it at the end. Okay. Thank you. You put me through my paces.
Not too bad. I don't know why we have to do MMA annual election, but let's do it.
All right, I got to get organized here because I'm all over.
I
the
know,
place.
me too. I just piled everything. Is there, do we have it as part of our packet? I didn't see it. If it is, it probably is. I just didn't see it. The MMA thing.
Yeah, it's right here.
Okay. Yeah, I've got mine.
14.3.
Is there more people than there are votes?
No, you can do it as presented and
And
I'll,
I make a motion that we have her cast one ballot for all of us.
okay.
I need a
Second.
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 Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand. See, that one's quick and
All
easy.
right, great. That makes that simple.
The abatement. You have that. things out of order.
There it is.
Thank you. So funny when you're looking hard, it's harder to find. So, I mean, there's really nothing to tee up. I mean, we need to do this, right?
Yeah, so it was discovered somewhere along the line recently. We had the person that received the tax bill inadvertently say, why am I getting this tax bill? I shouldn't be. And so after we did the research, we found out that that was correct. And so we have to issue an abatement for the 2024 tax year in the amount of $3,533.25. And as it says in the bottom section, the original tax bill sent to wrong owner, correct owner is exempt. And the only extra info that I think we need to share is it has to do with what was the John Murphy home. And so that person owned a couple of properties, still owns one of those properties. But when we sent out tax bills, we sent it to not only the change there, but inadvertently to the place where it still should be tax exempt. And so this is correcting all of that.
All right, I'm trying to follow, and I'm gonna just say it out loud so that I think it. We sent the bill out twice to the current owner and the former owner, and the former owner paid it. Is that correct?
Don't know.
Okay, well,
All I know is
but let's do it here. Let's do it in smaller increments. We sent the bill to the former owner paid it, but they weren't required to pay it. Again,
I'm trying to do my best.
I know, I understand.
You gotta understand, some of this stuff is pretty murky.
Paying $3,500 in taxes, I
So,
need to understand it.
So the bumper sticker end of this, we really don't have a choice. Because we tried, essentially, we sent the tax bill to the wrong person. And the person, I can't sit here and tell you if they paid it or not, but the correct owner is exempt from paying. So we need to
Because we didn't
abate
send
that
them-
tax. So my guess is the tax was not paid by the Murphy's owner, that the other entity that bought the Murphy home that we know, which is now the Recovery Center, received the tax bill for that property and paid for the Murphy Home Recovery Center property, but also received this and didn't pay it. And because it probably got caught up in the lien process, that's why it's now coming to light, this issue, because I sent out lien notices that we're going to put a lien on your property for foreclosure, which I think then prompted the person who received the tax bill incorrectly to then contact us, 3-4 weeks ago, and say to us, I got the wrong, I shouldn't be paying this. I don't know why I got this. So what I'm telling you, without me, because I don't work on the minutia of all of this, I get to hear the minutia. I trust in Dennis from O'Donnell's, as I've said before, and I trust in Barbara as the deputy tax clerk to deal with the minutia. So by the time it comes from Dennis from O'Donnell's is saying that this needs to be done, that this has his stamp of approval and we need to abate these taxes. Now, for further information, I can get you some answers, but for tonight, that's the best that I genuinely can do.
So it looks like from this letter that what they've done is reduce the valuation by that part. It never says that anybody paid anything. So it's really about reducing the assessed valuation of that because it's exempt. They don't.
I'm with you.
have to pay, but but it isn't clear whether anybody ever sent us $229, right?
So if they did, then it would be rebated back to them.
Right.
Or they would pay less on the future tax bill. I just generally I don't have the answer. Honestly, when I get stuff from Dennis and he says, we need to abate these taxes, other than just some general information, I don't do a lot of digging because I'm assuming that Dennis knows what he's doing. We're paying him to do it. And so I'm trusting, as I've said time and time again, I'm trusting that O'Donnell's is doing what they need to do on our behalf. And you guys, as the assessors, need to approve it. And so that's
And-
where I'm at.
And he's not saying that the person paid. He's saying if you paid it,
There you
you'll
go.
get a refund. If you have unpaid taxes, it will be a credit. So,
Right.
so
And
I
I-
think
and-
all we're really voting on is the
Exemption.
reduction in the assessed valuation.
Is this where I say thank you? Thank you.
But
think
I
that's-
would disagree. I think we're voting on the exemption. Their value is still there. They're still calling that value. They're just saying that instead of the mill rate coming out to, or the non-exempt part, he's saying that this property is exempt of taxes.
Right. So our tax commitment was off in that year by that amount because we assessed tax on a property that we should not have because of their tax exempt status.
Right.
So-
So like if, I mean, I'm assuming because it's a nonprofit, like a church or whatever is allowed non-taxable
Right.
property. It became a non-taxable property. We assessed it as a taxable property.
Right.
Therefore, it needs, I think I'm on the right track here.
Yes.
Therefore, it needs to be an exempt property,
Yes.
not a taxable.
Yeah. So we need to make this adjustment.
Right. So it is, just again, I don't even know, you probably know what property this is, but this property is owned by Margaret Murphy Homes now. So
To the best, to the best
so
of
it'll
my knowledge,
continue to
yes.
be an exempt property.
Yes. Yes.
They bought it. Oh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's a-
Oh, so it's a different nonprofit. Okay, okay.
Oh, the recovery home? No, this is not that property. That property is now taxable.
Okay.
This is a secondary property
Right.
and I don't know.
Okay.
I don't.
But I'm assuming that's what it looks like to me. If maybe I'm wrong, but I'm looking at it saying, he's saying, no, this is an exempt from taxes property currently.
Right. So it isn't like we can switch the tax. We would if we could.
Right.
But
He says
because-
right there at the very end, it says the correct owner is exempt.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. It cleared it for me. Like I just was trying to process it. That's all.
Thank you, Mary.
Yes,
Oh, that's right.
that's why it takes a village. Somebody needs
Can
to,
I make a motion to accept the tax abatement for
hey,
Main Street Real Estate for 353325 for 2024?
yes.
Second that, please.
It's been moved and seconded to, do this abatement for 353325 for the 2024 tax year. It's been seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand.
Thank you.
Passed unanimously. All right, let's try not to get continually bogged down. We got a gift.
We got a gift and with the chair's permission, I'll let Eric's tee this up.
Did I-
Eric's and Nancy.
Signatures, he's still doing this again.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm burying the signatures.
That's really good. The town, well, Commissioner West, there was this clock that was given, that was held, it was that was in the full town office on Pleasant Street. The town engineer served over 20 years. Thing was,
That's all right.
Ed Sawyer. When Ted retired, they gave him that clock. His grandson, David Sawyer, came to us last year. I have this clock. We don't need it, but we'd like to give it back to the town. So we accepted it from the historical site. And we had it fixed. It was a booking press. We went down to Oxford, had a little clock place there. Repaired it, and it's working. And now we'd like to give it back to the town.
was bamboo. And I have a picture of it. And we thought, and we should probably replace the hanger, will be right here in the council chamber. But we're replacing that, but here it is. It's, well, it's better.
Can we make it go off really loud if we go over?
That's my notification.
Alarm.
Is it like a Seth Thomas?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep, that one just like it.
did a nice job at the, but he was trying to find the exact paint. Where it says regulator, he couldn't come with a match and they don't use that color, that white,
Yep.
it's gonna be just like that.
Yeah.
I have the original plaque that was given to Ted Sawyer, we'll also do that without.
Right.
presentation. No. Well, without. So, whenever you like, well, I can drop the clock off the town office and you can schedule the time to have it hung anywhere here. Anytime you just let me know, but,
Okay,
and then, we'll contact David and then we'll make it, flat and all that stuff. Oh.
okay.
That's why,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the council, assuming they wish to, will need to make a motion to accept this gift.
Make a motion that we accept the antique clock that was once donated to the town and from the Historical Society back to the town.
That,
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand.
Thank you. Yeah, so contact me somewhere over the next few days and yeah. I got to figure out how we get who, Public Works is going to be crazy for a while, but yeah. Thank you.
TV?
September meeting date and time.
Yeah, so I have a little curveball and I'd like the council to play along if possible. So normally with our September meeting, because usually we meet the first Monday of the month, and normally we would push that to the first Tuesday of the month. However, I have a couple of special people that would like to join us, and it works for their calendar on Monday, September 8th. And so I would like the council to consider moving your September meeting from what would normally be September 2nd, that Tuesday, to the following Monday of September 8th. And it can be, they were thinking 6:30, but honestly, if you saw my desktop and you saw all the items I have already queued up for your September meeting, you would say, Vic, we definitely need to start at 6 p.m., assuming you guys have the wherewithal and wish to do that. So my recommendation would be Monday, September 8th at 6 p.m. And we will entertain these gentlemen either at 6 or 6:30 when they get here.
So before we vote on it, can we negotiate this? Because unfortunately, I'm out of town October 6th. So if you want me to be part of the October meeting, then we also need to move that one. No, I know. I'm telling you, I'm gonna be gone the first Monday of October.
Okay.
So I'm negotiating. I'm like, I'll give you your week move if
So-
you can move mine.
So let's play this out. And I think we can just take it, unless you want to do the full litany.
Because I know November is also gonna probably be,
So Derek was saying in his application that November, he will be away that first week. And so I was thinking of pushing the November one to the 10th, Monday, the 10th of November. I too will be gone that last week in October. I will be back that November 1st So I could make this meeting on the second, but honestly, if you want Derek to attend, unless your plans have changed,
No.
then I would say let's do September, what are we talking? September 8th, October,
13th. I believe.
well, that would be Columbus Day, so
The
that's
13th
not
is
good.
Columbus.
So we could do either,
Well, I can't do a Tuesday either. We're gone, we'll be in Florida until like the 8th.
so we could do Tuesday, October 14th.
That works.
That-
Sorry to be a pain.
So 9/8, 10/16, and I think it's 11/10.
Yes.
And to
No,
keep
10/14.
What's
10/14.
14,
Yeah,
10/14. So September 8th, October 14th, and November 10th. And to keep it simple, can we just say 6 PM all three meetings?
yeah,
Does that work?
works for me.
That's
Okay,
okay.
so September 8th, October 14th, which is a Tuesday. So it's Monday, September 8th, Tuesday, October 14th, and Monday, November
November
10th. And I think that clears all our schedules.
It does.
And the meeting time for all three meetings would be 6 PM.
Yep.
And so if that works for everybody, we'll entertain a motion, Mr. Chair.
I will entertain a motion.
You will.
I make a motion that we make those the dates and times.
Second,
Been moved and seconded. Any other discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand.
Thank you.
All right. So, if there's nothing else, then I would entertain a motion to go into, executive session.
We have signatures needed
Yes,
before you
yes,
do that. Okay.
bring them on over.
And did you?
We do, it's right
you-
here.
You got it all?
It's all done.
Okay.
I did miss one, so you might want to look.
So basically, everyone except for Derek is signing all of these. And then this one here is gonna be everyone except for Derek and Mary.
So Walter,
Yeah.
what I'm going to have to do once we are in executive session, I will call you on my cell phone and you can participate via cell phone if that works for you.
sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You too.
And while we have a
these
moment
your-
before we take the motion, I will just say publicly that there will be no, unless the council wants to for some weird reason, I do not expect any decision making after the executive session. They got to go in first.
Yeah, we
So,
have to, I will accept a motion to go into executive order.
but you need to read it. You need to read it as I
Yes.
have it.
Yes.
I will make a motion that we go into executive session to deal with 1 MRSA 405 6B economic development.
That,
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor, raise your hand.
Thank you.
Bye.
7:35.